Hello the internet and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing something that I have been wanting to get to for easily a month. But every time I start the project, I have to worry about the lighting fading and the taking of the time, and it's kind of a big deal. Today I'm going to be doing one look per palette using the entire current Bad Habit Beauty After Collection. As you may be aware, the After Collection is the dupe for the Huda Beauty Obsessions collection, and I feel that they have done a fantastic job. Plus, you're getting these palettes for like $12 a piece, or considerably less if you buy a bundle. They are available exclusively on the Shop Hush app, so if you are interested in any of the looks or the palettes, please head on over to the Shop Hush app, download that stuff onto your phone, and get to buying all sorts of goodies. So, we have a lot of palettes to get to. We have all of those palettes to get to. One look for each of those. 6 eye looks. And I'm not going to cheat by doing one eye with one palette and another with another. No, we are going to do full looks, including the blush and the lipstick and the everything to match each eye look. I feel that I have wasted enough time on this introduction, so we are going to get started. We are going to start off with the After Hours palette. So, I will be throwing up pictures as we go, but this is what we are working with. This is that kind of mauve Obsessions dupe. I really like it. I believe I did a super simple series, eye look, like how to do a 3 shadow look or something. I used this palette for something in the past, and I've used it many times since, and I love it. I do have to say that when it comes to these shadows, the formula is a bit different than other Bad Habit palettes that I have. I find the mattes to be very, very powdery. There's definitely kick up. I don't notice as much fallout on my face, but you really need to go in with a light hand. I'm going to stop talking now about things in general, and we're just going to get into it. So first things first, I'm going to be going into the shade Powder Room with a big fluffy brush, and I will be applying that all over everything. Okay, now that we have our base down, I'm going to be dipping into this matte shade here called Cabernet, and I will be applying that to the inner and outer corners. Okay, so I've left a little space on the center of each lid in order to add a spotlight. We're just kind of winging it with all of these looks. I figured we'll do a halo. Now I'm going to be using a flat shader brush, and for funsies, let's go ahead and dip into Clutch. I feel like this makes a very nice, bright center lid shade. So I will be dipping into this. One of the nice things about these shadows are you really don't need to wet your brush or use a tacky primer. For the record, I am just using concealer for all of these looks. I will be less chatty in the future when I'm dealing with the other palette, but just so you're aware, if I do choose to use glitter glue or something like that, I will let you know, but otherwise, I really don't believe that these shadows need it. So, I'm going to be going in once again with the shade Clutch, and I will be applying that to the center of both lids. Okay, now that I have my halo, my spotlight done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce the inner and outer corners, and I will be adding something to the lower lash line. We'll get to that in a second. Okie dokie, my lids are just the way I want them. Now I'm going to be adding a color to the lower lash line, and for that I'm taking a small pencil brush, small smudger brush. I'm going to be dipping into the shade Hickey and just really deepening up the lower lash line. Okay, so I believe that my eye look is for the most part done. I'm going to add some mascara, but other than that, I just want to use my fluffy brush again and kind of buff out the edges, make sure that everything is cleaned up. And when I get back, I will have a full face of makeup, including blush and my lips. And here we have it, the finished look. So I have my halo eye using the After Hours palette. I went ahead and I used one of the Doll Hospital Cosmetics lipsticks. This is in the shade Control Issues. I figured if anything needs a dark and vampy lip, it is this look here. And for mascara, I went ahead and I used the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Mascara. I chose not to use lashes, and I will not be using lashes for the entirety of these palette look thingy-mahoozits. And the reason that I am doing that is because obviously if you do an eye look, if you follow a tutorial, you can always add false lashes to it. No problem. Very, very rarely are you going to be doing something where false lashes just wouldn't complement the look. However, I feel like a lot of tutorials, if the person knows that they're going to be putting on false lashes, tend to be a little bit more dramatic. I am sticking with the basics. If you want to amp up your look, you go right ahead. But I personally will not be using false lashes for any of these one look, one palette, tutorial-y usable butters. And yeah, words are not my thing today. But again, this concludes look number 1. Oh, one last thing. And the blush that I used is actually from the Makeup Revolution blush palette. This is the version Goddess, and it is this little one right here. And I am kind of sad because I've managed to hit baby pan, and I knew it was coming. But this is a digression, obviously. Is there anyone else out there where the second you hit pan on something, you don't want to use it anymore? Because like it's your favorite thing and you love it, and the idea of completely finishing it is just heartbreaking. That's what I got going on right now. Like now I don't want to use that shade anymore, even though it is very clearly my favorite shade in this palette. If I use it, it's gonna go away, and I don't want that to happen. And I mean, the palette itself is ridiculously cheap. I could repurchase it no problem, but I just don't want it to be gone. That's not hard to understand. Anywho, moving on. So I'm gonna take this off, and I will be right back, and we will move on to palette number 2. Okay guys and dolls, I am back. My face has been cleaned off, and I'm still sad about the baby pan on the blush, but you know what, we're gonna push through it. We will rally. Moving on to the next palette, I'm gonna be using the After Dark palette. Now, I have no idea why it is named the After Dark palette when it is a reddish brown theme. I don't get it. There's another palette which would make perfect sense as the After Dark palette, but this one, anywho. But yeah, we're gonna be using this palette, and that is that. Gonna go on with a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna be dipping into Cheeky, and I will be applying Cheeky to my crease as kind of a transition shade, and we'll just see where this look takes us from there. Alright, so I lied. She definitely made it up a little higher than my crease, but you know what? It's fine. Once again, we are rolling with it. The one thing that I would add, in addition to all of my talky at the beginning here, is the mirrors. I can't really show it to you without it being terrible. Okay, so very shiny, but the mirrors are large and they are absolutely stunning. I love the mirrors in these palettes. For how inexpensive they are and how small they are, you definitely get a decent sized mirror to do your makeup with. However, keeping in mind that these are very powdery mattes, if you're not careful, you're gonna end up dumping a bunch of fallout on yourself while you are applying. So make sure if you're gonna use the mirror, you keep it level. No, that is not a lesson I learned right now. but I feel it needs to be said. Let's do something fairly simple. I'm going to go into, not blinding you, I'm going to go into this brown shade down here, the shade Arousal, because, yeah. And I'm going to be applying that also to the crease, but I'm going to try and contain it just to the crease, not let it go wild like I did with Cheeky. And then we'll throw in a lid color and the mascara and all the good stuff, and a lip, and we'll see the final look. So, going in with Arousal, trying to keep it just in my crease. Alright, and I'm back, and I've got Arousal in my crease, Cheeky just everywhere else, and now it's time for a lid shade. I bet you're thinking, I'm going to go into 24 karat because it is this golden shade right here, and it is literally the only shimmer or metallic in the entire palette, but you'd be wrong. So I am gonna do an all matte look. For this one, I'm gonna be dipping into Merlot, and I'm gonna be patting that all over my lids. And this is just gonna be a really smoky look. So yeah, let's see how that turns out. All right, so the colors Arousal and Merlot end up looking substantially similar on the eye. In the palette, you have definitely a dark brown and then like a really dark wine color, but I mean, I can't tell the difference. If you can, awesome, but I can't tell the difference. So we're gonna add a little bit of a pop of color. I think I'm going with Crush on Me, and I'm gonna use that as my lower lash line color. Let's do that. That sounds like fun. I'm gonna be using another, this case I'm gonna use a little liner brush, and I will dip into the matte shade Crush on Me, and we will make this pretty. Okay, lashes and lips. Be right back. And I'm back. So, eyes are done, face is done. Only difference this time around is I used a different Doll Hospital Cosmetics lipstick. This one is in the shade Melancholy. I love it. I think it's nice, and I think it works really well with this this darker smoky rye look. So yeah, that is 2 down, 4 to go. All right there, internet. Let's move on to palette number 3. So for palette number 3, we are going to do the After Charge palette. This is one of the newer palettes that got released. This and Afterglow came out at the same time. It's supposed to be the Coral Obsessions and the Gemstone Obsessions. I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't matter. It's a dupe. We're doing it. So this is what we have to work with. Every single shade in this palette is a shimmery metallic thing. So that makes it a little bit different because 2 of the remaining palettes that we have to work with are a lot of warm tones. I'm just going to go ahead and ignore the pinks, this bronzy color, and this copper because no. And we are going to focus on, I think we're going to go with Rally and Stardust. We are going to make those 2 colors work. So how about we start off with Stardust, and I'm going to put that just all over my lid. Let's do that. Okay, flat shader brush, shade Stardust. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. So, I feel like I've made a terrible mistake. I don't remember there being this much fallout the last time I used this palette. We're going to make an exception to my not using anything rule. I'm going to be number 1, putting down a glitter primer, and number 2, I'm just going to use my fingers. Let's do those things. Alright, so I have the Ulta Beauty glitter primer. It works perfectly fine for these purposes. I'm going to dab that all over my lids, and then we're going to try our hand at applying these very shimmery Fallout-y shades. Holy shit, you guys. Look at this color. It's outstanding. Okay, so we're going to do the lower lash line. I'm going into the teal shade up here, Rally, just using a liner type brush, and I will be applying that directly to the lower lash line. I did lay down just a tad of the glitter glue to help us adhere, but let's see how well it does. I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna do my lashes and cheeks and lips, and we'll have the finished look. But oh my goodness, why do I not use this palette more? I will be right back. And here's the finished look. I feel like, I know that I said that I wasn't gonna do like false lashes, and I've been skipping the liner just to make things easier. However, if any look so far has deserved a dramatic set of falsies and just the biggest wing, it is this one. So what I have done is I've bypassed the blush because I feel like we have enough color going on here. I went with a fairly nude lipstick. This is another Doll Hospital. They're all Doll Hospital Cosmetics lipsticks. We're just gonna get that out of the way. This one is called Unstable. It is kind of a pinky nude. I do very much enjoy it, but to spice it up just a little bit, because I did not bring a gloss up here, I went ahead and I dabbed on some of the shade Energize, just all over the lips. So I am feeling my damn self, I swear to God. All right, I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna move on to the next palette. All right, internet, we are 3 down, 3 to go. So, up next, we are going with the Afterglow palette. I believe this is the Coral Obsessions duplicate. So, what are we working with here? Just a whole bunch of pretty warm-toned, corally red, yellow colors, and I love it. I love it. So, to get us started, I'm going to be dipping into the shade Blossom, using that as just a base everywhere with a fluffy brush, and then we'll see where this takes us. Okay, so dipping into Bloom with a very tiny, dense crease brush, and I'm just going to be applying that to the crease and winging it out just a tad. I will be taking just a very itty bitty, very dense, like creasy linery brush, and applying the shade Beam, which is I guess the darkest shade in this palette, just directly to the crease. Okay, let's just take let's take a flat little shader brush, and let's dip into the shade Brilliant. Maybe Brilliant down here in the center will save us from ourselves if we just put it all over the lid. At this point, I feel like I could close my eyes and start poking myself with the brush, and I'd probably do just as well. But you know what? Out of 6 palettes, if I only have one look that is questionable at best, I think I've done a pretty good job. So, yeah. Okay, I mean, it's interesting. It's a look. I'm gonna use just a liner brush and see if I can get kind of a wing going so that this makes some sort of sense. Otherwise, I just have like this bandit mask thing going on. Which, I mean, again, it's a look, but If we could make it make a little bit more sense, I'd feel more comfortable with it. Okie dokie. So I cleaned up a little bit. I'm gonna do the not liner. Let's use our thinky parts. Lashes, cheeks, lips, and I will be back with the finished look. Okie dokie. Here we are with the finished look using the Afterglow palette. So I went ahead, I used mascara. I went with my second favorite blush in this palette. It is a nice peachy color. And then I mixed the two lipsticks, Melancholy and Well Rested, which is a red, and got this lovely lip color. And that, yeah, that finishes off look from palette number 4. 2 to go. I will see you in just a second with a clear face, and we will move on to, I think we'll do the Aftershock palette next. I'll be right back. Okay, let's do this. Aftershock number 5. It's almost maddening at this point. Why did I do this? Why do I do these things to myself? Okie dokie. It's pretty. This is actually the one that I wanted the most, which explains why it's always sold out on Shop Hush. Like, if you don't buy this in one of the sets, you're not getting it. Always sold out. Okay, let's go with Electronica, the yellow, as a base. And then we're gonna go with Chaser, this bright corally orange thing. We'll do that as a inner and outer corner. And then how about Tingle, this pink, as we'll do another halo, center of the halo. All right, so starting off with the yellow Electronica, let's get that just everywhere. Fluffy brush. I mean, but look at that pigment though. Okay, I can't remember what I said about the positioning of the halo, but I'm gonna go ahead and use Tingle, the pink, as the outer corners, and then use Chaser as the center. That I think might work out a little bit better. I think I'm gonna like the way that looks a little bit more, so. Another fluffy, but slightly denser brush, and start building up the inner and outer corners. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I kind of like the softer look that I have going on, but unlike the spotlight that we did earlier where I left the entire center going straight up open for that shimmer shade, I have closed over the halo. And I think what I'm going to do is use my glitter glue. I'm going to dab some of that right in the center where I want my bright orange to go. And then I'm just going to apply that dabbed on with my finger, because I would like for that center halo shade to pop and to be vibrant, but I don't really want the entire look to be quite as punchy. So I'm going to be dipping into the shade Chaser just with a finger and applying that right in the center of the lid. Okay, so look is punchy and full of bright orange color. The lower lash line is the last thing to go, and then I'm going to throw on some mascara, cheek color, and lips, and we will have a complete look. I'm going to take the same brush that I was using for the pink that I have on the inner and outer corners. I'm going to be using that on the lower lash line. I feel like it faded out pretty nicely and wasn't too intense, so we'll see how well this works. Okay, gonna do a bit of cleanup, mascara, lips, blush. Be right back. Okay, this bright and colorful look brought to you by Bad Habit Beauty's After Collection, the Aftershock palette. So, obviously, mascara, I decided to skip the blush just because I've got enough color going on here, but I did use another lipstick. This one is called Racing Thoughts, once again, by Doll Hospital Cosmetics. I'm definitely feeling myself. Between this and the After Charge palette, feeling myself pretty damn hard. So I'm gonna force myself to take this off, and we will do our final look. Look number 6 with palette number 6. Oh my fucking god, you guys. We made it. The last palette. The last eye look. My lids are stained. My lips hurt. I'm questioning my decisions. Somehow this is worse than the times that I eye swatched a whole collection of eyeshadows. Somehow. Ooh, buddy. Okay. After party. Let's do the simplest thing that we possibly can to get this over with, because oh my god. Oh my god. All right. We have our colors in our palette. I'm going to use Morning After as a base. I'm going to do something a little weird. I'm going to use a shimmer in the crease and a matte on the lid. So I'm going to use Morning After as the base. I'm going to use Open Tab, this dark brown shimmer, in the crease and sort of as an outer corner thing. And then I'm going to use Blackout, this black matte in the upper corner, all over my lid. And we're going to see how that turns out, because it's like 11 and I'm... All right, let's get into it. Bring on the fluffy brush. Crease brush, and we're gonna see, how well a crease brush that's kind of fluffy works with this shimmer. These are pretty smooth and easy to work with, but I'm still a little concerned this might not go the way that I hope. I'm just gonna stop talking and do it. Alrighty, it looks a little messy right now, but we can fix it. We can make it better. Now, moving on, I am going to pick up just any old random brush because I don't care anymore. It is late and I am tired. This was a mistake. Okay, so I have my very messy looking crease color, outer corner color thing going on. That was Open Tab. Now I'm going to black out. I'm not personally going to black out. I'm going to use the shade Blackout on my lids and make this just the smokiest of smoky eyes that ever smokied. And well, we'll just see how it goes. Alrighty. I'm going to try and fix this just a bit and then admit defeat. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the mascara, the lips, and then we're freaking done. We're done, son. I will be right back with the full face done. I will give you some final thoughts and then we will wrap this up. Okay guys, I feel like I have a little goth glam going on here. Once again, I'm using the Doll Hospital Cosmetics lipstick, Well Rested. The Makeup Revolution Blush Palette Goddess. I'm using the darkest shade on my cheeks. And this eye look was the After Party palette. Okay, so 6 palettes, 6 looks, 1 collection. My final thoughts on the Bad Habit Beauty collection overall. Negatives. The mattes are powdery. You will definitely end up with fallout if you're not careful. And Kit Kat, obviously. I would highly recommend a primer, a tacky primer or something as a base if you're going to be using like the black, especially in the After Party palette. I feel like it adhered so much better to places where I had the shimmer down in my crease, but just over my bare lid, questionable application despite my best efforts. So use a primer. It's going to save you some mess and it's going to get you a better payoff in color wise. But that's the truth of just about every single eyeshadow on the face of the earth. So nothing new there. I do not own any of the Huda Beauty Obsessions palettes. None of them. I haven't swatched them. I haven't tried them. I haven't played with them. I don't know how the After collection compares to the Obsessions collection. So if you've tried both and you have an opinion on that, feel free to leave it down below. But for $12 a palette, I'm not complaining. Especially if you are buying the bundle deals. You can get all 6 of the original palettes for, I believe, $48 right now on the Shop Hush website. So, or rather the Shop Hush app. So if you want all of these, you're essentially paying as much as you would for like an ABH palette. I mean, a little more, obviously, but I mean, you can get all of this for the cost of one mid to high end eyeshadow palette. So it's definitely a good deal if you're willing to work with a little bit of fallout. Personally, it doesn't bother me that much. I had a lot of black on my face. I used a makeup wipe. I fucking reapplied the foundation and the blush and everything's fine. So not a big deal, not worth whining over. I am still very, very happy that I have all of these palettes. And that is pretty much it. I would absolutely recommend them. I think that pretty much all of Bad Habits palettes that I have tried have been awesome. I have not tried the Natasha Denona dupes or the new Pat McGrath like Mothership Collection dupes, but the only palette that I've tried that I absolutely say do not buy this, it is a bad idea, is that Midsummer something palette. It's supposed to be the Too Faced dupe. Do not purchase that. That one sucks. Like, the shimmers there's no pigment to them, and the mattes are just stupid, and there's so many colors that are practically identical. It's not worth it. So don't do that. Don't do that. But pretty much any of their other palettes are a go. Do it. Buy them. Buy them all. Buy them all. But that is it. That concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed it because, dear God, my eyes hurt. And if you like my face, you like the crazy things that I do, feel free to subscribe. It would make me very happy. And you can go back in time and check out how I hurt myself with fiber mascara, or how I hurt myself eyes watching all of the igneous cosmetic shadows, or I injure myself a lot for your entertainment. So definitely hang out with me, you twisted little sadists, you. But yeah, if you do stick around, I will see you in the next video. I hope that you have a wonderful night or day. Peace out.